3rd, 2021. This meeting is a meeting of the Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. Ms. Allen, will you please call the roll?
Yes. Mr. Andrews?
Yes.
Mrs. Judah Freeman?
Yes.
Ms. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Scares? Mr. Scares? I can't see Mr. Scares.
Maybe he's muted or something.
Let's see. He is not on now. So I don't know if he lost the connection, but I don't see him on physically. And Mrs. Bozeman?
Yes. I will go ahead and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance while everyone is muted. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I need a motion to adopt the agenda as printed.
So move.
I'll second.
It has been properly moved and seconded. Are there any questions about the agenda? Hearing none, Ms. Allen, will you please call the roll? You're muted. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted. You're muted.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can.
Okay. I have some questions about the agenda.
Okay.
I'm getting some feedback, so I can barely hear. Okay. My question is, and I'm asking for clarification. I'm looking at the agenda, and following compliance, we are not renewing the positions as listed on the agenda, which is standard operating procedure. However, at our last work session, I don't know if this is a typo or not, but I believe it was the board's intention to make this particular position a non-certified position and a position that is classified. Regardless if a person wants to get a certification or not, the position doesn't require a certification. So I say that because is there a typo, or do we need to make an adjustment on on B? Where is it? I think it's on. Give me a minute. It's on B6. Because that says a recommendation for approval of the following certified positions. So are we voting to make the RJ certified?
I did speak to the attorney about that, and what we did was, of course, put back on all the things that were taken off. And so I asked the non-renewal for whatever we decide to do has to come first, as you said.
Yeah.
So for that piece, you can vote that down if you want to, and then that is just off. And we will have the opportunity to then do the other classification of those positions.
Okay, but my question is, it's given that every year we vote those non-renewed. Okay, I mean, that's standard operating procedure. But I'm looking at item B6. It says certified, but RJs don't require any type of certificate. So do these two people have their certificates? And even if they do, is the position going to be a classified position? Because if it is, don't we need to change that wording to classified position, approval for the following classified position?
No,
because if they don't have it, but they're going to get it, okay, and this is the direction we're going, okay, that's one thing, but that makes this a certified position, period, okay? Even though we all know that the teaching certificate or certification is not necessary for this position.
right.
Okay, we know that, right? I just want to make sure we all know that. So say for instance, one of these folks decide they can't get it, they won't get it, they don't pass, whatever, are they out of a job because we're saying it's a certified position?
No. The only reason that that's on there is because it was on and it was taken off and we put back on all those things.
Okay.
So you can vote now to say they're being non-certified. If you vote yes or no, however you want to vote, but if you vote no on that B6 piece, then those people are still in play like everyone else, and the job description with the classification that we decide on, everything that we decide will go with them.
Okay, so here's what I'm asking, and I'm asking the board. Do we need any type of board resolution saying that this position is going to be classified as it's going to be changed to a classified position? Because if we don't say that and we vote 2 of the RJs as certified, that is what the position is.
Well, we can just vote it down.
Okay. And then if they get their certifications, then they move to whatever that scale is anyway. Okay? We could do that. I get it. And that makes sense, President Bozeman. So that the position will be, as it was intended to be, as in our last work session, we said it would be a classified position.
Right. Yep. Okay. Any other questions about that? Because if we vote it down, then it's gone, right?
Well, they're in also the other item. Just
it would be
it's fine as a certified position. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it wouldn't exist, basically. Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Anything else?
So what is the recommendation as in terms of how we're voting on those 2 positions? I thought I knew what I was doing, and now I'm not so sure.
Well, if we vote that when we look at that particular item, which is B6, the recommendation is for the approval of the following certified positions for 2021-2022 school year, pending proper certification for July 30th, 2021. So we would be asking for an approval of that. So if we say no, then we're not giving an approval for that particular one. If we say yes, but then we're giving an approval for that. If we say no, then we're knocking it off. We're saying no, we don't want to approve that because we don't want to put that in a certified category. If we say yes, we're saying yes, we do want to put it in a certified category.
And I think each person is supposed to vote their decision. This is not a discussion amongst 5 people right now.
Right. Anything else about that? Any other changes? Hearing none, Ms. Allen, will you call the roll? Please call.
Yes, Mr. Andrews?
No.
No. We're just
Adopting the agenda.
adopting the agenda.
Okay. All right, Miss Moore. Don't be laughing at me.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I forgot I was on camera.
Yes.
Mrs. Jeter Freeman? Yes. Miss Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Scarce?
Yes.
And Mrs. Bozeman?
Yes, the agenda has been adopted with the questions answered. Moving on to the superintendent's report, which is the approval of the personnel agenda. Dr. Cosby? You're muted.
I'm muted. Can't hear you.
You're muted.
Okay, thank you, sorry. All right. A2 is a recommendation for approval of the following administrative non-renewals for the 2020-21 school year.
Okay, board, I need a motion for which is A2, for the recommendation for the approval of the following administrative non-renewals for the 2021 school year. Is there a motion?
I'll move.
Is there a second? Is there a second? A second for the non-renewal for A2. I don't have one. I have a motion, but I need a second.
And without a second, we can't move forward.
We gotta go for it. We need a second.
I'll second.
Been properly moved and seconded. Are there any questions about this? Hearing none, Ms. Allen, will you please call the roll?
Yes, Mr. Andrews,
Yes.
Mrs. Judith Freeman,
Yes.
Ms. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Scares,
No.
Mrs. Bozeman,
Yes, motion carries. Number 2, Superintendent Cosby, what do you have? Two?
Yes. B2, the recommendation for approval of the following certified non-renewals for the 2021 school year.
So we're looking at, for a motion for B2, which is a recommendation for the approval of the following certified non-renewals for the 2020-2021 school year. I need a motion.
I'll move.
I'm looking for a second. We can't move forward without a second, guys.
I'm abstaining on B2, so I'm not.
The whole B2 or just a specific person on B2?
We can't hear you, Ms. Jeter Freeman.
I'm abstaining on B2.
So are you, no, not taking a vote, but a motion? That's what's on the floor, not that you're voting on it. We need a motion to move forward. So are you making a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. That's all I'm asking.
Thank you. It's been properly moved and seconded. Are there any questions about what we're doing on B2? Hearing none, Ms. Allen, will you please call the roll?
yes, Ms. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Andrews,
Yes.
Mrs. Judith Freeman,
Abstain.
Mr. Scares,
No.
and Mrs. Bozeman.
Yes. Motion carries. Okay, Dr. Cosby.
Okay. B4, recommendation for approval of the following certified additional assignments.
Okay, looking for a motion for B4, recommendation for the approval of certified additional assignments. Is there a motion?
I'll move.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Are there any questions about what's going on with B4?
Yes. What is the currently hourly rate? There's nothing there. What are we voting on? I mean, what is that information? Are any other board members aware of the current hourly rate?
This is they will take the teacher's salaries and find their hourly rate and multiply by 7.
But can you give us that amount?
I'm sorry, I've been at home, so I don't have access to that information.
Ms. Allen, do you have it? I mean, I don't know what I'm voting on for a currently hourly rate without that information.
Yeah, Ms. Moore, I do not have that readily accessible.
Is this, This is the one that you sent the ancillary information out to the board about earlier today, Dr. Cosby.
Yes.
Yeah, but
I think for
Still doesn't-
consistency, what we're looking for is for personnel. The expectation is if we're putting salary for some of the positions, it should be for all of the positions. So it's in consistency that when we're looking at it, we have full knowledge, and that some are not there without it, and additional assignments, even in that, when it could say additional assignments for, extra math and whatever. So it's just being a little more specific as to what it is, and a template for the information that's being provided. Thank you.
yeah, and my comment, it's not transparent if the board doesn't know what we're paying. We're voting on and the superintendent doesn't know what that is, and the treasurer doesn't know what that is. So I feel like it's not complete. I don't know what I'm voting on.
Okay, I will take this into consideration before we put anything like that on again. As you know, I told you the situation is rare, but I agree with what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. And and you know what? And it is rare, and it's commendable. But I just feel like we need to know what we're voting for. And is it possible for this to be something that could be handled on June 3rd with the complete amount of information necessary to make an informed decision and transparency?
Yes, it could happen today or next week, next month.
Okay, so this one's a little bit different than the other one. So we can move this one. We can move this one to June 3rd, and we can still be fine with that. Is that correct?
President Bozeman, can you guys just vote this down then,
Yes,
and then put
yes,
it back on the June 3rd?
Yes. Yes. Are there any other questions about this one? So if we were to vote this one down, we could put it back on the June 3rd if that's what we chose, if each individual board member chose to do that. Ms. Allen, would you please call the roll?
Yes, Mrs. Jeter Freeman?
I made the motion. Do you start with the person who made the motion?
I'm sorry, Ms. Moore, I'm sorry, my mistake.
That's okay.
Did Mr. Andrews second this motion?
Yes.
Okay, so it was my mistake. Ms. Moore,
No.
Mr. Andrews,
No.
Mrs. Jeter Freeman,
No.
Mr. Scarce,
No.
and Mrs. Bozeman.
No, motion does not carry. All right, Superintendent, your item 6.
Yes, B6, a recommendation for approval of the following certified positions for the 21-22 school year pending proper certification by July 30th, 2021.
All right, so we're looking for B6, which is a recommendation for the approval of the following certified positions for the 2021-2022 school year, and this is pending proper certification by July 30th, 2021. Is there a motion?
I'll move.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Are there any questions or discussion about this one? Hearing none, Ms. Allen, will you please call the roll?
Yes, Ms. Moore,
No.
Mr. Scarce,
No.
Mr. Andrews,
Abstain.
Mrs. Jeter Freeman,
No.
Mrs. Bozeman.
No, motion does not carry. Okay. Looks like we got through the entire personnel agenda. I now need a motion to adjourn.
I'll move.
I need a second.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion adjourned. Have a good weekend. See you guys later. Thank you for coming. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Michael.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good one. Thank you.
Thanks, Janice. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.